All right, we're going to go through questions 15 through 17. So what is the mean of this data? Remember, when you find the mean, you're going to add it all together and then divide by how many there are. So I'm going to break this up into two chunks. I'm going to add those three and then add those three and then add them together just because I don't want to get lost on my calculator and miss something. So 27 plus 33 plus 19 is 79. And then 8 plus 15 plus 33 is 56. And if I add those together, is 135. So you don't have to break it up that way. I just always find it a little bit easier to make sure I don't miss anything. So I added them up, it's 135 divided by how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of data. So 135 divided by 6 gives me 22.5. Remember, you do have a calculator, use it, okay? And that is your answer. What is the interquartile range of this data? Okay, this is a little tricky, but we can totally do this. Just think like you're making a box plot. First, we have to find those quartiles. I'm going to rewrite it just so it's a little bit bigger. So 8, 15, 17, 19, 20, 20, 24, 27, 30, 32, 34, 34, and 36. Ooh, I write too big. Let's scoot that over a little. Okay, so first thing I need to do to find interquartile range is I have to find my median so that I can find my quartiles. So remember, cross them off, working your way into the middle. Keep going, and I get 24 is my median. Now, remember, on each side of that median, I'm going to find the median of the two sides because that's breaking it in, like a median breaks it in half. So if I take the halves on each side, that would be breaking it up into fourths, quartiles, right? So cross, 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 cross. It's in between these two numbers. 17 plus 19 divided by 2 is 18. Remember, you add them together. 17 plus 19 divided by, well, equals, let's see, equals 36, and then divide that by 2. That's how we get to 18. Same thing on the other side, so cross, 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 cross. It's in between 32 and 34. I'm hoping that you just know that 33 goes in between those, but if you don't, you could do 32 plus 34, get 66, and then divide by 2. And then finally, we're not done. We have to find the interquartile range, the range between these two numbers. So we're going to subtract them. 33 minus 18. 33 minus 18, which is 15. So 15 is our IQR. And finally, last question, which measure of center would represent this data the best? So remember that mean is really good if all of your numbers are kind of consistent. There's no crazy outliers. You use the mean when there are no outliers. Okay. You would use the median when there are outliers. And then finally, you would use mode if there's a lot of repeats. Okay, so if your data just kind of keeps repeating the same number over and over, that would be a good time to use mode. Median, again, if there's an outlier, or mean if there's not any outliers. In this graph, I can see here's all the data and then an outlier hanging out way out here by himself. Remember, an outlier is the guy that doesn't quite fit in. He's the piece of data that is either way too big or way too small for the rest of the data. So since this data has an outlier, we would want to go with our median. That outlier is kind of dragging the data one way or the other. Think about like averages on a test. If everyone does really well, we get 80s and 90s, and then someone gets a 40, it's going to make the whole average of the class look lower than it really is. Everyone did great except that one outlier. So that's a time where we wouldn't want to use the average. We would instead want to use the median to get a little bit better picture of the data. Okay, so those are your 3 reasons why you would use each of those.